I'm live for the AOR stream. Right, hello everyone. We are currently here for the AOR stream. We're here in Mexico City. I'm just waiting to get some viewers before I start doing my proper spiel, but yeah, hello, I'm DLR Nedzo, also known as Nedzo, also known as Nedzo's F1 Grid Box, or Nedzo's F1 Commentary Box. I go by a lot of different names. I have a YouTube channel of my own. But yeah, I assume you're all coming here for AOR. So yeah, we are currently here live from Mexico City. Not from Mexico City, the place, but from Mexico City in the league. As I said, we are here and I'm excited to be commentating on my first seriously big league. So yeah. I'm just going to quickly go onto the AOR server just to see if there's any things that have been said or need to be said. Let me just see. Yeah, this is the biggest server I've ever commentated for, and this is the biggest thing I've ever done in league racing, so I shouldn't get anything too wrong, but I am just getting all my excuses out of the way. So yeah, here we are. Yeah, so we're here in Mexico. It's a short qualifying, 36 lap race. Let's have a look at the other options in the lobby. Obviously, these are the assists I use. I use full race line. The only thing I really use is ABS. Anyway, that's waffling. Yeah, currently have only one viewer, but hopefully we'll get some up in the future. But yeah, as I was saying, so we're here in Mexico City then. It's a historic Formula 1 circuit, the Mexico City. Obviously, it's in a national park, this circuit is. It was first used in Formula 1 in 1963, and its first big moment was hosting in 1964. There was a championship fight going on between John Surtees, Graham Hill, and Jim Clark. They were all British drivers. Admittedly, Jim Clark was Scottish, but there wasn't really a independence thing at that time. Let me just see which channel I need to post this in. Tier 1 chat is apparently where I need to go with this link. Tier 1, where is it? So yeah, let me just, sorry for that little break, guys. I was quickly getting everything sorted. So I'll wait until people get into the zone, and I'll go back into the history of the Mexico City Grand Prix. Yeah, we currently have just the one viewer, which is a shame, but we'll be hoping to get some more. So yeah, as I said, we've got about 4 minutes until the lobby is supposed to be going, I think. So I'll have to quickly get it all in. And so, yeah. It's going to be interesting. Obviously, I've not commentated here before. But I'm going to enjoy it. I think. I know AOR from the good old days with. I used to watch back when there were massive YouTubers in AOR. I don't think they're in here anymore, but it still sounds like a fantastic league to be in. I know leagues that have started out with amazing drivers and have gone bust within like 6 months because they aren't good enough. But to have a league going this long is amazing. That's one thing I will say, and I'm not just kissing up to all the admins here. That's generally how I feel. So yeah, we're here at Mexico City. It's a track that's been on, well, its first race was in 1963, like I said earlier. Its first championship fight was in 1964, because obviously they went to the final race of the season here in Mexico City. It was John Surtees, Graham Hill and Jim Clark who were all battling for the title. And they fought, and it was John Surtees who ended up winning because his teammate Lorenzo Bandini conveniently took Graham Hill out at turn 1. And I think Jim Clark must have got an engine failure like for the 5 millionth time he did that season, because the Lotuses always seemed to blow up back then. And then it stayed on the calendar, I think, until 1970. And the reason why it fell off the calendar in 1970 was because of safety concerns. Not because of the actual track itself, but whenever they went to Mexico City, you'd find that the kids who lived near the track would go onto the track, would go into like the stands and go into the spectator areas, and then jump over the spectator areas onto the circuit, and then stand at the side of the circuit and try and get as close to the cars as they could when the cars were flying by. So obviously that's not great. As voice chat has been suspended, I'm not entirely sure why. But yeah. So that's what happened in 1970. That's why F1 went away from there for a while. Came back in 1986. Gerhard Berger won the 1986 race, and it was the first win for Benetton. And then in 1990, I think it was, there was a classic move that you see on highlights reels now, where Nigel Mansell sent it around the outside of the Peraltada. What is now the final the stadium section used to be just one flat-out sweeping 180-degree right-hander, but now we have the last bit of the Peraltada, and it's not very good, in my opinion. I think we should... Well, you can't go back to the old Peraltada because there's not enough runoff, but we could definitely improve the stadium section, because the stadium section nowadays is just tilkified to death, and it's ruined the flow of that section of circuit. I do think that if they made it a lot more simpler, it'd be better for overtaking Mexico, because the problem is, Mexico, in theory, is great for overtaking, because it has 2 long straights, back to back, and tight braking zones. But the thing is, the air thinness, and like how thick it is, because of the altitude, it's so thin, the air, and that means that the drag coefficients of the cars are so much lower. So a car following another car has a lot less drag coefficient than it usually does to the car in front, so there's a lot less chance for it to get overtaken, especially with DRS. There's literally, if you're in a DRS train, you literally have no drag. So that's why at Mexico, they'll run Monaco levels of downforce at Mexico, and then there's long straights, because otherwise they literally won't be able to get through the corners. But yeah, it's a weird one, Mexico. 19 drivers in the lobby so far. This is quite a big lobby. I'm not used to with big lobbies, to be fair, but I suppose I'll just have to cope. Right, we just have one Alpine left to join. Hopefully he'll join soon. Still only one viewer, but I'm not going to complain. And now I think we have the full 20. We do have 20 people in the lobby, but they haven't selected a seat yet. You're not in spectator mode, lad. But I think we have 20. Yeah, we have 20 people in now. So we should be all right. To be fair, it's looking good. I've never seen a full 20 car race, so this will be fun. Trying to sift through all the camera angles. Yeah. So yeah, it is a great circuit, Mexico. Fair enough, it's had its critics in recent years because it does produce. I haven't seen a good race at Mexico since it came on the calendar it came back on the calendar in 2015. I mean, the 2017 race where Hamilton and I think was it Verstappen or Vettel who cut across the grass at turn 1. That was a good race. I mean, 2022 was all right towards the end because Ricciardo came through on better tyres. But yeah, it's not really one of the greatest races. It's not really one of the better races on the calendar. In Mexico, it was a good idea to bring it back in 2015 to get that historical value back. Something that the FIA seem to not care about in the slightest now. But it's just a bit of a mid-track. I think they could replace it with a track like Kyalami. I mean, Kyalami for me, because people overrate Kyalami a lot, in my opinion. In my opinion, Kyalami isn't that good a circuit, especially not. Like, people think that going to Kyalami will solve a lot of F1's issues. Like, oh, it will officially be a world championship. But then again, at the same time, they don't realise that clearly Kyalami is not a track that's good for overtaking. It'll be like a Zandvoort 2.0. You're just going there because of a country, not because of a track itself. Like, because all the old school fans will say, well, all these American circuits come onto the calendar and they don't have any merit and they're not actually any good at all, like Las Vegas and Miami. Whereas Kyalami, I know if we went there in F1 would be terrible. It's good in GT cars. I've driven it in GT cars and it's amazing, but it's not designed for those. Well, it probably was initially, but nowadays F1 cars are so fast and so bad for following that if you try doing a race around Kyalami, you're not getting any overtaking. The only possible overtaking spot will be into the first corner, and even then you're struggling to get anywhere near alongside someone going into turn 1. But anyway, my rant over, because we're not here for a Kyalami race, we're here for a Mexico race. I don't know when we're getting going, by the way. I'm not sure. I think we're waiting for someone else to... I think we're just waiting for Erti to sort some things out. This all looks pretty normal to me. I do know that formation laps do cause glitches sometimes. I'm not sure if those glitches have been fixed yet. As you can see my custom control schemes. I have a separate F2 control scheme because that's what I do. Because I'm only ever fast in league races in F2 cars. Oh, someone's followed me. New follower. Thank you, Buzzer9393. Thank you, mate. Yeah, I keep saying it's just filler because I'm trying to waffle until the race starts. I didn't expect the race to be starting this late. But yeah, so if you want to ask me questions in the comments, guys, don't be afraid. I'm not here to bite. I don't bite. Yeah, if you ask me a question about anything, F1, real life F1, virtual F1, anything, any sport. I know the Community Shield, or the Charity Shield as it's called now, was on earlier on. I didn't pay much attention to it, but yeah. Also, I'd say we have got a massive range of drivers from different countries. We've got, like, I know where, because obviously I'm in a lot smaller leagues. I generally only go and commentate in smaller leagues. So I find that I see a lot of Britain, I see a lot of the Netherlands, I see a lot of the British and Netherlands flags. I see a lot of America. But it's great to see a lot of different nationalities. We have 3 people from Lebanon. That's amazing. All this multiculturalism is phenomenal. I like it in leagues. It shows that they branch out. It's great. Who's left? We've got 19 drivers only now. One of the AlphaTauris has left. 5 viewers. Thank you, guys. Thanks for 5 viewers. Yeah, we're hoping to be getting going soon. As I said, if you want to ask me a question, absolutely feel free. If you don't want to ask a question, then that's absolutely fine as well. Because I definitely would be too awkward to ask a question on a stream. Yeah. It seems like the person who was hosting the lobby is a bit new to this sort of stuff and needed a bit more time to get used to it, but I suppose that's fine. We've all been there. I've been there. I've had to delay a lobby hosting because I was a bit slower. But it's fine. It's fine. I've seen it before. But yeah, we're here in Mexico. We're getting ready for the start of this qualifying session. Short qualifying session. It'll be 18 minutes. Hey, cheers for streaming, bro. Appreciate it. Absolutely no problem, mate. Hopefully I can make it interesting for you. I tend to be a bit more of an interesting... I try not to be a cookie cutter, because there are some people who like, just cookie cutter commentators. They all have the same kind of voice. They all have the same kind of demeanour. They all have the same kind of way of saying things, and I just think that's a bit boring. So I try and put my own flair onto things. I like a joke. I like being expressionful. That's not a word. Expressionful is not a word, but I don't care. Yeah. Frankie says he's in the McLaren. Good luck to you then, my friend. 2 to the X, not Frankie. Good luck to you, my friend. Hopefully you can do well. Let me just double check, because I think Erti sent me a copy, or sent me a link to the standings. I haven't fully looked over them, to be honest. Let me just visit this site. It says that Frankie's actually topping the championship at the moment. Then I'm gonna horrifically butcher some of these names. As multicultural as I am, I cannot pronounce Finnish names. Persegili, then Salvo Nibali is in third. Then Armate is fourth. Then you got Luca Fal. Oh, there's people who put numbers and letters in their names at the same time. I don't like that. Let's see. We've currently got 3 viewers. Is it going to be raining when I get into this session? Hopefully not. It is dry but cloudy. Overcast is what I'd say. So we are loaded in now. 19 people currently in the lobby. You can see the Mexico layout there. So the lap starts with a very... Well, it's easy to drive, difficult to master, 1, 2, 3 chicane. And then you go to turn 4 and 5. That's another tricky chicane because you either sacrifice entry speed to get a better exit, or you sacrifice exit speed to get a better entry. On a qualifying lap, obviously you want to maximise the exit speed. But for example, if you're trying to pull off an overtake, you want to maybe go a bit further up the inside and try a bit more optimistic and push the other person wide. Turn 6, obviously, Hall Kia is the hairpin, and that can easily be a good overtaking spot. Then you've got the S's, and then you've got turn... Oh, what would that be? Turn 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13? Then obviously, there's just a stadium section. As Frankie's retired, what's happened to him? He's left the session. What's happened to him? Is he supposed to have left? Have we got a lobby restart? I'll have a look and see in the chats if there's anything happening. I don't want to scaremonger people because I know how powerful it can be. Oh, so, okay, everyone's leaving because there has been a issue because the lobby host accidentally forced cockpit camera on because there's a setting, apparently, that allows you to put people in cockpit camera by default. That's a bit stupid in my opinion. Like, if you want to play pro career like it's F1 2015, then absolutely, you go ahead, mate. But at the same, but no one else wants to. I have an unread notification. Is it a new invite? Please say it is. It's not. I have always people wanted to be my friend, and I'm not going to listen to them. Frankie, I know you're probably listening to the stream. Could you please, mate, send me an invite to the new lobby when/if it is opened by yourself? Making new lobby cockpit cameras on yet. Who's host? I'll just ask him who's hosting. Alright, let me just refresh and see if there was anything coming up while I was looking at my phone. Sometimes there is. Nah, everyone. Okay. So, a few technical difficulties here, but I don't mind that. I know that I'm sometimes bottle things as well. I'm not perfect. I'm only very perfect. I need to yawn. Oh. Right, so I'm just going to quickly text my mates, tell them I'm commentating in AOR. Right, Ertie's invited me to play. So here we are, we're back in the lobby. I'm going to go back into my role of spectator. Hopefully we'll be able to get going soon before like maybe like... Oh, it's already 1:15. Wow, okay. Let me just see. Is anyone putting anything in the comments? Don't think so. So we're getting people back into the lobby. Let's make sure that the force cockpit camera is off. Wait, is this a completely Is this a completely no assist league? I would not be able to do that. I have to have my racing line in ABS on, otherwise I can't drive. And so I assume we wait. Oh wow, we already have 19. We already have all the whole 19 people in here. We still don't have that Alpha Tauri. But yeah, wow! I didn't realize it was a fully no assists thing. I know I couldn't be able to. I wouldn't be able to do that because I need ABS on and I need dynamic racing 9, and that's it. To be fair, I could put up with everything else. I would need DRS assist because I only have one working hand, but I don't think anyone really cares about my assist because they're here to see 20 of really good racers. Is Ertie the 20th guy? Oh no, Mika SLR hasn't selected his car yet. Alright, let's have a look and see what's going on. Are we getting ready to go? Let's hope so. that rhymed in time and I didn't really mind. They're saying apparently red flags are buggy. I know the bugs with red flags have been now patched. I know they have been patched. They were patched. Was it the first patch of the game? I think it was, to be fair. But I suppose they just want to get a race underway. They don't want to have any potential glitches or problems. Right, it seems like we're getting going now. So, yep, we're moving into the lobby. Hopefully now we do not have silly settings on that restrict the driver's ability to drive. Not as much as we want to. Not too much is what I'm trying to get at. So, yeah. Anyone in the comments, tell me, who do you think is going to win this race? Who do you think is going to qualify on pole, actually? I want a 1, 2, and 3 from everyone in the comments. Come on, let's get it going. Let's get a conversation starting. Multiplayer event, short qualifying. We are loading in. Let's get some hype going for these drivers. I just hope I haven't said that during an ad, because I know that my Twitch channel, I don't know what happened to it, but when I put an ad, it just decides to put them on like every 5 seconds. And it puts on like 8 billion ads at a time. And I've tried figuring out how to change it, but it just doesn't. So we are currently... Yeah, let me just hide this menu so we can go here. And I will be going on broadcast camera, because that's what I've been asked to do by the... By Erty. So I will just do that. Right, so the first on track will be the Alpha Tauri here of... Where is he? Solid Ninja Snake. Is it Solid Ninja Snake or is it someone else? It is Solid Ninja Snake, it's first out on circuit, and that is a very loud engine. But it won't be so loud when I move towards this camera angle here. So we are on the outboard shot here, coming up towards turn 4 and 5. See, the thing is, the reason why I keep mentioning the broadcast cameras is because I never used to use broadcast cameras. On the older games, it was terrible. They were terrible. They wouldn't really show you the proper action. But now, this year, they've majorly improved the way that the outboard shots work. They no longer focus on a bit of a car that you don't need to see. Like the way they do these. Oh, that is a cool shot. It's like, for example, I did a race around Jeddah a couple of weeks ago, and it showed like all the harbour while the cars were going around, and it looked amazing. Don't get me wrong, I don't like Jeddah or Saudi Arabia for other reasons, but it's a cool looking circuit, I cannot lie. But yeah, Solid Ninja Snake is coming onto his outlap here in that Alpha Tauri. I think it's equal performance, so he's not in a very slow car. He's in fact in the joint fastest car on the grid, and this is why you have me here, because I make great insights like that. He's going all the way around the outside of the final corner, trying to maximise the distance towards the line so he can get the maximum speed up, because obviously you need to get the best run you can down this long. I think it's like a 1.2 kilometre straight, I think, is one of the longest in modern Formula 1. As he breaks down into third gear for turn 1 and turn 2. Nicely done for him there. Back on the throttle smoothly and trying to keep the back end in check, but he couldn't there. So now, coming down towards turn 4, he does have some traffic in his way. He will be wanting to make sure they get out of the way. He's gone purple, obviously, because he's the first person to set a sector time. The number 48 there, coming down in towards turn 6, the hairpin, slowest corner on the circuit, I think. It might actually be the second slowest behind that final corner. Or, no, I mean the stadium section. Anyway, I'm waffling. As we come through the S section, he looks totally on edge there. Oh, hits the apex perfectly in those last 2 bits. They are what I call track limit killers because they can kill your track limits. As he goes through in towards the stadium section now. It's all about commitment. Can you get the car rotated nicely enough and get the car to stay within track limits? This section here is another annoying section for track limits, but he's kept it within them. He's going to come across the line. This might only be a banker lap. We never know with these drivers. He's coming up to the line. It's a 1:17.4 to get us started. The next person to cross the line is Persegil on the outlap, and next across line after him is Mulchian. Sorry for that one. 1:17.4. And Matt DJ goes to the top, and so does Tash. So we've had 4 drivers usurp each other on the top step. Or not on the top step, on the top of the timesheets. Chahuan goes on a 17.5, so they're all very close to each other, as it's a Ferrari 1-2 as Gabs goes into P2. There's a Haas coming up to start their lap, I think, or are they coming into the pits? I think they might be coming into the pits. No. Luca Fail comes into the line, is a 1:16.3, goes 5 tenths clear at the top. Pasti goes into P3. Next across line is one of the Mercs. It's not Icalo, it might be our mate. Actually, he's coming into the pits. He is coming into the pits. Next across the line, sorry for my lack of really keeping up with the drivers. I'm not the best when it comes to that in qualifying. Is that one of the Alpines? Sorry, not one of the Williams. It is one of the Alpines, sorry. It's Kremer who comes across the line. P9 as Frankie goes to the top of the pile with the 1:16.226. The entire time consists of either 2 6s or 1s, which is a very good statistical quirk. Is that meant to say Rising Moon? He goes P3, whatever his name is supposed to be. Good job from him, only a 10th off of the pole position time and a purple last sector for him, so clearly very confident in the last section of that lap as Matt DJ comes into the pits. I think lots of people come into the pits because it's their second lap, obviously, and they will not be wanting to do two push laps. Someone's just come across the line. I think it was the McLaren of Potato. He's a stark difference to his teammate, 1.6 seconds down on his teammate. I've just said the word teammate twice in one sentence, which isn't too great, but I'll just say it again. Teammate. Next across line will be, I think, not Rising Moon. I think it might be Rising Moon's teammate, actually. Max Ducker. He comes up to the line. What's it going to be for the Alfa Romeo? P15 and 1:17.9. He wants to improve that time if he wants to get anywhere near the top 10, really. He's not even on, because like Potato, I can sort of excuse his time because he is on the mediums. So you can excuse a bit of a tyre delta. He is 1.9 seconds off his teammate, but it is for a reason. And there are quite a few people out on circuit. Not one of them is not Icalo. Pedro comes across the line to start one. And then Potato is actually coming around the final couple of corners. He doesn't have much ERS to play with, though, which is a shame for him, because he'll want to have some ERS, I assume. Rising Moon just come into the pits, but now we see Potato coming round the final corner. Into the pits he comes, so he's obviously not on a push lap, and I thought he might have been. Mikasa into the pits as well. Also, guys, tell me if I'm getting any of these names wrong. Because I want to get it out of my head now if I'm going to make a mistake, rather than keep making the same mistake and forgetting to correct myself. AVT Pasti is on a flyer, and he's the only one on a... Oh, he's invalid! He's got invalid through the S's there. We didn't see exactly how he went invalid, but we can see... Well, it's a very bad section for track limits, really. You can understand why he has done that. Max Duca comes across the line to start a lap. He'll be burning that ERS down this back straight. Or main straight. It's not a back straight, it's a main straight, Owen. And so is our mate. Our mate is on an outlap. I think he might be on an outlap. As Max Ducker, I'll actually see what his time is. He hasn't been timed at the moment, so I think he is definitely on an outlap. Max Ducker, however, is on a lap. He is coming up to the Sector 1 split now. He's 1/10 up on his previous time, which is a 1:17.993. So that currently puts him into P14. If he can keep the car together, which he's getting a big swapper on out of these corners, he might want to reconsider, recharge, and rejuvenate, but he's not going to choose to do that. Instead, he's going to go flying through this X section. Can he keep the car under control. Yes, he can, but can he keep it within track limits? No, he can't. It's a real struggle to get the car within track limits. And I think our mate was on a lap when I thought he wasn't. That is my bad completely. He comes around the final corner. What's it going to be for him? P4. 1:16.4. That's a very competitive lap time and very good for him. Next across the line will be... actually, Matt DJ has just started a lap. Our mate has just finished one. Solid Ninja Snake is invalid, unfortunately for him. Persigel, I think that says. Persegel. There's way too many E's. Persegili. There we go. Persegili. That's a very tongue twister name. I apologise for saying his name consistently wrong for about 15 seconds there. But we are coming towards the S's section here. Nicely done from him. No invalidations. This has been a place where many people have invalidated so far today. But he's managed to avoid those sorts of infractions and infringements. He obviously doesn't get a delta to his previous time. I'm not sure how quick a 56.8 is around here in the second sector split. So you'll be just as much in the dark as I am when it comes to times. Oh, losing the back end, but he keeps the car in check as he comes round the final corner. What's it going to be for the Aston Martin driver as he comes up to the line? P2. A 1:16.269, just a 400ths of a second off of the pole position time. He is so competitive in this session. But will we see anyone topple the time of Frankie here? He gave me a nice welcome to the league and a nice welcome to the stream, so I will thank him dearly for that. But will he be able to improve his time as he goes on to a flying lap now? So we will keep an eye on him. But we'll keep an eye on the people who are further around their laps, which is not the one I'm on board with at the moment. Gabe is 2 temps up at the moment. He's going to go up to P7 as he improves by 3 temps eventually at the end of his lap. I think one of the Williams is coming around the final corner. It is Shahwan who comes into the pits. Next is the Aston Martin of J-Tray. He is on a lap. He's going to come up to the line. It's going to be a P11 time, just outside the top 10 for him. He wants to improve on that time if he can try. As Tash goes or stays P6, despite improving by 3 temps. Not good for him. It actually might have started a lap there, because I know sometimes it says they're on an out. It says they're on a flying lap when they're actually on an out lap, which isn't helpful. When you're a commentator and you expect to know exactly when people are on out laps and on flyers, I suppose I better stop complaining and just get on with it. Potato is definitely on a lap with that time, like a 1:19 as he comes through that section. Neither is Persegili. I still don't know how to say his name. He's probably going to come to me after the stream and tell me exactly how to pronounce it, because I've had that a couple of times in the leagues I've been in for. Max Ducker has retired from a session. He's crashed out at the. He's crashed out just after the S. As you can see, the car there, it has a wheel stricken off of it, and he's going to have yellow flags. I'm not sure if there's any rules that you have to slow down doing yellow flags in this league. I know most leagues don't have that rule, so that's why I am quickly mentioning it. I don't know why I'm quickly mentioning it, actually. So Tranky came into the pits there, so he obviously wasn't confident with the lap time he was about to set. One of the AvaTauris is coming up to the line. I think it's Solid Ninja State to start a lap. It is. And then J-Tray is coming around the final corner. He is a second and a bit down on his previous time. He is into the pits as well. The Mercedes of Mate is not the Mercedes coming around the final corner. It is in fact Icarlo. He comes up to the line and he goes P18 on 1:18.2. Pedro is the driver currently behind him on a 1 minute. Luca goes top of the pile on a 1:16.0. I was not expecting that, but he's done it. Clermont has just come into the pits. Potato, tomato, tomato. Is he going to set a good lap time? P9. That's a good lap time. Just outside the 1:16, the 1:17.001. Armate comes up to the line and he's going to start his lap. I'm going to see if anyone else is finishing theirs though. Rising Moon is into the pits. Mika Sir is also into the pits. Or is it Mika Sir or is it Mika SLR? It might be either one, to be fair. Pedro comes around the final corner. P12. I probably shouldn't explain that much for a time that's as not as mediocre as that. I don't want to say mediocre, but I did just say mediocre, so I probably just meant, yeah, I'm just going to shut up. Out into the pits comes the AvaTauris, Solid Ninja Snake. Then Icarlo. Is that Igaho or Icarlo? I keep thinking it's Odion Icarlo, the Manchester United player. But he is invalid at the moment, so he's obviously not going to finish this lap with a pole position time. Luca Fau, however, does hold the pole position time at the moment with 5 minutes left on the clock here in qualifying. Obviously, in the top left, it does say Q1, but I bet it's a common glitch in this game that they haven't fixed yet. It says Q1, despite the fact there is only one qualifying session, so of course it's going to be Q1, technically. Yep, so Chajuan comes around the final corner on his out lap. He's starting a lap. Armate is finishing one, though. Will he go faster than P5? Yes, he does. He goes to P2 within a tenth of a second of the leading time that was set by Luca Fau. Potato is coming into the pits. Pedro is invalid, so he might come into the pits as well because he doesn't look like he has enough ERS to start another lap. He doesn't. Gabs is on an out lap. Actually, to be fair, there's only a couple of people that can be on flyers. It is... So, Armate, I don't think he's going to be on that. He is actually technically pushing, but I don't think he has got enough ERS to be pushing properly. Chajuan definitely does, though. He's currently P17. 117.5, a second and a half off of the pole time. But, I mean, you can still improve there. There's always room for improvement, especially when you're lower down. Is he going to get invalid, though, here? He does not get invalid here. Let's see what his set to split is. He's 45 thousandths of a second up. He could go... Oh, he goes a bit wide there. He did not get an invalidation now. He must have listed off, or he must have just not gained time by doing that. He's taking a what looks like a very laborious line through that stadium section. It might be losing him a bit of time as he comes round the final corner. What is it going to be for him as he set a P14 time? An improvement by around 2 tenths there in the end. So he definitely got a shift on in that last sector. I said it looked quite laborious, but I was obviously wrong. Gabs is coming up towards the second set, but he's 3 tenths up on his time. That would put him right in the mixer in the top 6. Let's see what he can do as he comes flying around these final corners. Obviously, people are just peeling out of the pits now because we have 3 minutes left to go in the session. And you want to have... Well, Track Evolution says that the track is going to be at its best in the last couple of seconds of the session. But that's not necessarily true. As he goes P5, as he improved by 5 tenths in the end there. And we have an Alpine coming around the final couple of corners. It's Clemar, I think. He is on an out lap. So I think it's less important to look at him and more important to look at someone who's actually on a lap. Chajuan, I'm not sure if he's trying to push as my voice is going already, which isn't great considering we're only in qualifying and I'm only casually talking, but oh well. Mulchan is a second up on his time, so he's clearly just had a bit of a dodgy first run. He could be up into the top 8 with this time if he can keep a shift on. He does go into the top 8, he goes into the top 5. It's a 116.2. There's so many drivers in that 116.2 range. They're basically inseparable. Chajuan comes into the pits, though. I don't think he's going to be able to get out and do another run. It's going to be a push if he can try it. Potato is on the lap, as he says, I've got an issue with my pedals I'm trying to fix. Hopefully be sorted for the race. Frankie then probably won't improve in this qualifying session. Well, he's not going to improve if he's in the pits. Obviously a shame for him. I mean, are you Yarno up there in disguise, mate? You're having trouble with your pedals. Gabe is coming, or Gabs. Is it Gabs or Gabe? I don't know why I decided to call him Gabe, even though he's got no Gabe in his name. Clemar is coming through the last sector, but so is the other Alpine of Mika Sir, or Mika SLR. I don't know the names, so people will have to just tell me if I get their name wrong. I'm not going to take any offence to it because I've got a much higher chance of getting it wrong. So, Mulchan is probably not going to get another lap, and he hasn't really timed this well, to be honest. You want to be on track at the last possible moment, like everyone else is on their out laps, and he's on his in lap, which isn't great for track congestion and track everything, really. Offsetting your runs can be good, but it also at the same time can be... Frankie's left. Not sure exactly what's happened to him there. Don't tell me we're getting another restart. That would definitely confuse the hell out of me. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to do now because drivers are now coming through the last sector and they're starting their final... Surely they won't cancel the session before everyone's finished their laps or before the session's finished. Now, who are we going to go on board with for this final lap? Matt is coming through. Actually, Potato is coming through the last sector, but I think he's going to start a lap now rather than finish one. He is starting a lap rather than finishing one. He is correct. Persigil is not the Aston Martin that was coming across the line, but in fact, we're going to have a lot of people cross the line now, I think, just to start their laps. I don't think anyone who's going to be improving the Haas might be is actually Luca Fail. It is Luca Fail coming around the last set. Sorry for this dodgy camera work, by the way. I'm not used to lobbies this big. I'm getting all my excuses out of the way now so that people can't complain. Chahuan is coming. Chahuan is deciding that he doesn't know what the last sector is because he's trying to get to the line. I'm not sure if he will do though. Let's have a look and see, because he obviously says caution sector 1. I have no idea what time we have left. Has he got across the line? He has got across the line. It is just turned 0 seconds. So the first person to cross the line will in fact be Matt DJ. Where is he going to go on the timesheets? He goes and sets a 1:16.9. It's 11th place for him. Not the best of improvements, but it is still an improvement nonetheless. Solid Ninja Snake is 5 seconds up, 5/10 of a second up. He goes P11, so displaces Matt DJ from that position. And Pedro is not the Red Bull coming through the last section. It is in fact his teammate Pasty who's just gone P7. I didn't catch him in time. But Persigil has gone to the top of the time. She's on 1:15.8. That is a very competitive lap time from him. After a session where no one managed to get into the 16s, he has. P10 for Potato. Then the other Aston Martin of J-Tro will come across the line. He goes, stays P15. Not the best of times for him, but the two Mercedes are coming to the line. Armate is next to cross the line. He goes, stays P3, I think. For some reason, it's just counting him as not completed his lap. That's weird. He says he's in the pits now. I think there might be a bit of desync there. But yeah, everyone's coming across the line. I missed a lot of them. I apologise. Rising Moon into the pits. Chahuan is the only person remaining on his lap, and he's invalid. So Chahuan comes into the pit lane. That is the end of qualifying. So that is the end of the session then. Pole position goes to Persigil. Luca Fal did manage to get into the 115s in the end, but it was not enough to usurp the Aston Martin driver. 1:15.8 for Persigil. Is that about as good as it will get? I'm not sure. So yeah, it seems there are issues with desync, so we might get another lobby restart. But at the same time, will they want to do a second lobby restart? I know, for example, I'm a head steward in a lot of leagues. And one of the rules I have in my widespread rulebook is that you can't have more than one lobby restart. Because it often sends the time of the league over quite a bit. Like, it will have to make it delay by like an hour or so. Or not like an hour, maybe a bit less. But yeah, lobby is stable, so I don't think we should get a restart, to be honest. I don't think that's the other point. But yeah, Persigil, the Flying Finn, is top of the timesheets, followed by Luca Fal in second. Armate comes home in third, with Frankie home in fourth. Mulkian comes home in fifth place, with Gabs in sixth. Pasty, seventh, and Rising Moon in the Alfa Romeo home in eighth place. Tash is in ninth, with Potato rounding out the top 10 in P10. Nika SLR comes home in P11, with Solid Ninja Slake. Then Matt DJ, Pedro, J-Trey, Chahuan, Clema, Max Duca, and Igaho rounds out the final slot on the grid. About 2.5 seconds between the first place driver and the last place driver at the end in that session. And that shows that while the top is competitive, maybe the bottom isn't as competitive in the field. But we do have a dry race. It doesn't look like we're going to get any rain, so we might have a fully dry race here for the round 4 here in Mexico. I'm going to quickly message my mate telling him that I'm currently streaming a lobby in one of my favourite leagues. https twitch.tv/Nedzo. As someone is deciding they're going to try and scam. How do I delete their message? Delete. There we go. They're trying to scam people. So we are counting down. We have a formation lap. I know formation laps. Alex Jakes, it's my job to commentate. Not yours, my friend. Could we please not talk over me? Okay, just talk over me, why don't you? Right, so Persigil starts on pole. He's on the soft tyres, but Luca behind him is on the hards. Can we not... Can you not, Alex? Alex Jakes, I'm trying to talk. This is so rude of you, man. I thought you were a nice person. I thought you were a better commentator than Crofty. I might have to go back to David Crofty in my commentary settings. That's disgusting. But yeah, it says that you can either go medium hard or a 2-stop. I think 2-stops are probably better around here because I know that the hard tyres are basically a dud tyre in this game. What I mean by dud tyre is that it just doesn't it's not faster than another tyre. It's not faster than any other tyre, and its benefits by being longer in terms of stints don't actually do anything. So we have the formation lap in broadcast mode. Everyone pulls into their grid spots, and we're getting ready for the start of this race here in Mexico. Everyone is in position. We are waiting for the lights to come on. When will they come on is the question. There is someone missing on the grid, it seems, on the right-hand side there. I'm not sure exactly who it is, but they are missing. That's very odd. That's very odd. Has there been a glitch where someone's not gone from the formation lap and we've got to wait for them to come round again? I know I see that sometimes in Karima, but I've never seen it in an actual online session. That's a bit weird. We are kind of stuck. Is the game in soft lock or something? This is awkward. my first race, and there's a few issues. Streaming AOR, mate. Which one do I watch? There is a noise I hear. Yeah. So it seems there was a bit of a glitch. So people's tyres might be called off for starters. So expect some slipping and sliding. I love some slipping and sliding, though it causes chaos and it causes fun. So we're counting down, getting ready for the start of this race. We have a black screen at the moment, which is very weird. I don't know why. But we're counting down. We have how many lights, and when are we going to get them? We get 1, we get 2, we get 3, 4, and 5 lights here in Mexico. We go now! Who gets a good start? We see the Luca Fal gets a good start. There's yellow flags already at the back. What's happened? I'm not entirely sure, but Luca Fal is in the lead. He's pretty much in the lead as we come down towards turn 1. They're basically going 4 wide as we come into the first corner. Who will come out on top? The McLaren looks to get the move. There's contact that has his round. Luca Fal has caused chaos behind. We've seen multiple drivers go off, a Mercedes going off, but Frankie is into the lead. He must have solved his pedal issues from before as we come down towards turn 4. Will he be able to defend from the drivers behind? Let's see. He covers off the inside there. Mulcian is in second. Perseguil is in third as the cars snake through this section, and there is a bit of lag coming off. You can see a front wing there. There is definitely some lag from some of these drivers, and they are bumping around as Pedro has rejoined, and we're under safety car now because of the chaos that's unfolded. So there seems to be some desync issues. Frankie's out. Frankie's crashed. I'm not sure what's happened to him. Wait, he's retired. I'm so confused. Why is he retired? Are we getting a restart? So I think we might get a lobby restart here because it is a bit chaos. Into the pits, they all must go. E-I-E-I-E-I-O on the first lap, but I think we might get a restart. So it seems, yeah, if we've got to get another restart, that's really not great. But sometimes the game just doesn't like to be good. Bin off formation lap is what I'm going to say. I might be able to get the quality results for AirT. I'm not sure. I might have to end the stream. Oh, Matt DJ's got the pictures, so he doesn't need it. Right, I'll wait for a re-invite. Because some people are complaining why are we not doing positions on the on when we called the restart, because what often is because I know, for example, in real life F1, if there is a red flag on the first lap, or I think it's even it's in the first 2 laps of a race, they go back to the starting grid, and sometimes it can throw up some weird results. So, for example, I remember watching, not live because I wasn't old enough, but I remember watching the F1 Classic races of the 1995 Italian Grand Prix. David Coulthard started on pole, or he was on pole position, but then he spun out on the formation lap and had to, he spun out on the formation lap and had to do a pit lane start. But then on the first lap, there was a massive crash and they had a red flag. So on that restart, he got to start from pole position again, despite spinning out on the formation lap, which is very odd, but it happened and it worked for him. Well, he crashed out in the end, but... So yeah, I'm just waiting for a lobby invite. It's just a bit annoying sometimes when things don't go your way and you just want them to. I understand that. I can see why they're having to do these restarts constantly, because the game just keeps screwing them over. I get it. No, I don't want to be accepting friend or declining friend requests right now. I want to be getting back in the lobby. So we're trying to get a lobby restart underway, but I haven't got an invite yet, and obviously I'm the most important person that's ever existed, so I need one now. Obviously I'm being sarcastic, don't anyone take that as serious. I'm waiting for an invite. Alright, we still don't have an invite, but I suppose we've got to just wait. I think they're trying to send out invites now. They also have to do custom grid, which will be annoying because custom grid takes an absolute age to set up, because it's also a very slow system. I know, because I've had to try and do it before. It doesn't help when you're like a lobby host and people are so impatient because they want to get going, but they don't realise you're trying to do a custom grid while they're trying to ready up, and you're trying to cancel them readying up because you don't want to have ready up with a completely random grid, but they try and ready up anyway. But yeah, that's definitely not me speaking from personal experience. Let's see if I got an invite yet. I'm not sure if Erty... Oh, he has invited me. Yes! Let's get in, boys and girls. And anyone in between. I don't care. I don't discriminate. Yeah, everyone needs to select their strategy and their setups and everything. Oh, I've just dropped my earphone off of my ear. So it's no longer an earphone, it's just a phone. There we go, I've got it back now. Don't worry, lads and ladesses and anyone else in between, as I said. Yep. So we've been going for an hour, but we haven't seen any racing yet, which is a bit funny, a bit ironic, but sometimes that just happens. So yeah, we're just waiting for us to get... Apologies to anyone watching the stream. There was a large shambles because of me. Won't happen again, just very last minute call up host. Yeah, we understand. I understand, mate. It's tough when you get put in a situation you don't want to be in. Or not when you don't want to be in. But when you just have that situation where you're just a bit awkward, where you're not really experienced. I know, for example, I'm quite experienced with lobby hosting, but I know that not everyone else is, and it's a bit daunting. There is one LP missing, or there was. Let's double check. Let me just double check. Kalima is now back in, so it's fine, and so is Mikasa. Set grid will check settings. Yep, so everyone needs to be patient and just let them set up the settings, and I think they are doing that, so I appreciate that from them. Oh, it would be funny because they've just said about they need to sort out the rain as well. So we need to make sure it's a clear skies. Because imagine if they had if they went into the lobby and it was now full rain, that would be hilarious. Would be phenomenally funny, but it would also be very annoying for the hosts. I understand. I'm tired because it's late, not because the race is boring. Because we haven't had a race yet, so it can't be boring. But yeah, as I said, we're just waiting for ourselves to get going. Right, so they're saying please keep it clean, guys. First 2 corners, long race. Whoever listens to that advice, they all try and go for it anyway. Right, so we're getting ready and we're getting raring and we're getting going in this AOR race. So yeah, as I said, we are going into the race. Please have it all go plain sailing now. Bright and sunny, it's all funny and it's all great. As he's saying, everyone has to start on the same tyres, so I assume he'll be checking this stream after the race to show that people aren't heating or cheating. As he says, wait 1 minute before going. I will count that from now because I actually have a clock. It's currently at 45 seconds. So when it goes to 45 seconds on your on, then people will be able to go. So yeah. And also, I'll probably will I be able to see who's gone and who's not? Actually, I might not be able to, which is annoying. So if someone does ready up early, I'll be able to tell you when they readied up and how late it was or how early it was, obviously. So 23, 24, so about 20 seconds to go until everyone readies up, then another half a minute or so until we get going. It's currently 9 o'clock UK time. Obviously, if you're not in the UK time, that won't mean anything to you. I know that the East Coast of America is 5 hours behind us, and over New Zealand is 11 hours ahead of us. Those are the only real times as I know. Apart from actually Central Europe is 1 hour ahead of us, including Spain. But yeah, but everyone can ready up now. And we are 1, we are 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights in Mexico. And for the 3rd time, oh we go. They've gone out for me, but I don't think they have for anyone else. We have a say, what? Really? What is going on, man? Safety car. As it appears on the racetrack, we have a safety car on the opening lap. What is going on, man? This game punched us all in the face when it gave us the first lobby restart. It then kicked us when we were on the ground for the second one. And now it's stomping on our face multiple times and then hitting us with a hammer multiple times in this 3rd restart, but we might have. So we have a safety car. I do not hold anything against the league owners or the league admins because they've done a fantastic job. This is prosperity in adversity. Like, genuinely, I've never seen, like, don't get me wrong, sometimes I understand this game can be a bit dodgy when it comes to glitches and bugs. Once is annoying. Twice is very annoying. 3 times. This game's got something against us. It just seems they hate us. So safety car's out. It should come out. It should come in at the end of lap 2. But let's actually get a tyre check while we're waiting for everyone to snake through, because I didn't manage to check people's tyres before the start of the race. So Perseguili is on the soft tyres. Our mate is on the mediums. Frankie is on the hards. Oh, as Mika SLR is into the pits. And he is switching onto the hard tyres. Here we go. So he's going to start from the back of the pack on those brand new hard. I'm not sure why he'd come in this early, because you lose all your track position. But I suppose he's a risk taker. Pedro loses a position. I'm not exactly sure why. But yeah, it's a mix of soft, mediums and hards. Not just everyone on the same tyres. Mainly medium tyres. But there are some softs in there as well. Perseguili, what he needs to do is he needs to try and build up a gap on the safety car restart, because there'll be less challenge into turn 1 because it's not a standing start, and there's less jeopardy in a rolling start than there is a standing start, because of course the rolling start, especially in F1 cars, is just plant your foot, especially if it's a. It's fair, Mexico isn't really a fast track on a safety car restart because it's a very short acceleration out of the final corner. But I don't think he might get challenged into turn 1 because it's such a long run down there, but we'll be able to see. So, of course, the guys behind him will be on harder tyres, and therefore tyres that are harder to heat up. Those tyres are harder to heat up, so they will be struggling to keep up with him as they are colder, when they are colder. The safety car, I think, is in this lap. The safety car lights are out, and yes, it is in this lap. Perseguili is about to wind his way through this last sector. He just wants to keep the pack nice and bunched up. He doesn't want to go more than speed than he needs to, because he knows he's on better tyres than the people behind him, so he can afford to go quite slowly, because he'll have better purchase on cold tyres than they will. That's what I do. I always am very crafty with my safety car restarts, but we can't see him at the moment. We'll be able to see him when he comes around the final corner. He's still not gone yet. Everyone, look at the top 5 there, all massively close together, but then he's managed to pull away on that restart. Everyone's setting fastest laps. You can just see, look, it's like on the old graphics you used to see on the real life F1 feeds. As Pedro's overtaken J-Train, but we're going to focus on the battle for the leads, or the battle for the between the leaders here. No, we're not actually, because we can go towards. Actually, yes, we are, because the second and third place are battling. And oh, Frankie's down to 5th. Frankie's down to 5th. I'm not sure what's happened to him, but he's gone from 2nd place to 5th place. Sorry for not catching that. My apologies there. Matt DJ passes Potato, and Potato is trying to get a move back down on him there. But we're going in towards turn 4, and we've got an AlphaTauri on our inside here. Solid Ninja Snake sends a Solid Ninja move up the inside. Does he make it stick around the outside at the following corner? Does he make it stick? He's around the outside still. He keeps the car in that position. Will he get it around the outside? No, he doesn't, but he's still there. He's still alongside, and he might actually get this done here into the S section. This move took about 5 million corners to do, and he did push Potato wide, which has allowed Pedro through, but he's got it done in the end. Rising Moon is trying to get a move on the Red Bull Al-Pasti, but I don't think he's going to make a move. He might actually make a move into the stadium section. He doesn't in the end. But now we come towards the end of this lap. Max Ducker has lost a position, so while one Alfa Romeo is looking to make a move, one Alfa Romeo is losing positions. That is a drastic problem for him. Perseguili sets fastest lap. He's pulled out a nice gap on this opening lap here. That's what he wanted to do. He's out of that DRS as Rising Moon does pass Pasti in the end. We saw those two squabbling, and they're going to squabble even more as we come down to turn 1. They're going to possibly pull side by side. The Ferrari's looking there. Tasty as well. Tash up the inside of both of them. Could he make a double move here? He doesn't make. He makes a single move on Pasti, but can he get a move on the exit of turn 3? Can he shape up the Alfa Romeo on the exit? He's looking for that move. He has the same amount of ERS really as the Alfa Romeo in front, but he does not want to make any challenges into turn 4. He's clearly not confident enough, or just doesn't want to cause any ruckus. Into P7 he goes then, and he's still close behind. As now we're going to start seeing how close drivers are with the DRS of each other. Perseguili has absolutely done what Sebastian Vettel used to do in the early 2010s here. He's just buggered off on the opening laps here. 2 seconds clear as we come into the third sector now. Armate needs to be looking behind him as he has Multian behind him. 7 tenths behind. And Matt DJ is 3 tenths behind the Red Bull of AVT Pasty. But we now have DRS enabled. It won't be enabled for this straight because, or the next straight actually, because the DRS activation point, or the DRS detection point, but as Potato I think has gone round, he must have had an incident. He spun round in the final corner. You can see him down there on this helicopter shot. He spun around. That's a disaster for him. Solid Ninja Snake is looking for another move though on the Haas in front of him. Will he make a move? No, he does not. But he's going to look to do something in towards turn 4. You can see he's got the better exit. Does he have the better traction? Does he have the better drive? Does he have the better confidence going onto the brakes? I don't think he will. I hyped up a bit more than I probably should have there. But we're coming towards the end of lap 5 here. Or we're coming towards the middle of lap 5. This is the first lap, but drivers are going to have DRS down that long main straight. Obviously, the detection point is the same for both the first DRS zone and the second DRS zone. So if you get past someone going into turn 1, you get a free dose of DRS down the back straight to consolidate that move. I don't agree with it. I think you should have different detection points for both DRS zones, but this game clearly isn't that. And you do have this mini DRS zone here, which will help you out a little bit, but it shouldn't help you make an overtake unless you're really ballsy. As you can see, Solid Ninja Snake was very close behind Matt DJ there, but could not make a move. He is searching all over the rear end of that ass, but he's going to come through the final corners. And what is he going to do coming onto the main straight? Obviously, being a bit closer to the car in front will help him. Obviously, the car in front will still have DRS, but he will also... Actually, will he have DRS? No, Red Bull in front does not have DRS. This gives him an opportunity into turn 1. He's pulling alongside now into the turn 1. He's already made the move before we even get to the apex. Unfortunately for him, that's how DRS works. I don't agree with DRS. I think they should have a push-to-pass system like they do in IndyCar. But I suppose my opinions on Formula 1 aren't relevant because I don't suppose I don't drive there. Solid Ninja Snake in the AlphaTauri. Could he make a move on the senior team? He's looking for it, but he doesn't make the move. He's got the other Red Bull of Pedro behind him. He's an AlphaTauri in a Red Bull sandwich. That's not what you want to be in because, well, you just don't want to be in a senior team sandwich. It's just not great. It's not healthy and it's not a fun sandwich to have. As you see, Rising Moon I think just went wide, or one of the cars here went wide. That must be surely an invalidation there for Gabs as he went wide on the exit of the S's. But we're coming into the stadium section now. This is a very good camera angle, I will not lie. I don't mind bashing the people who make the camera angles for this game, but this is a very good one. We just go through around here. We go underneath the stadium. Hello, we can see you all again. Lap 6, on to lap 7 then. Persegili, 2.9 seconds. That's basically 3 seconds clear of the car in front of him. He's doing a fantastic job out in front as Tash is making a fantastic move on Rising Moon with the DRS. Pulls to the inside. It's pretty easy, done and dusted for him, but AVT Pasty is up the inside of Matt DJ into turn 1. Will Matt DJ try and stick it around the outside? No, he won't. He was looking to make a move and keep the position, but he couldn't. Crema has passed Chajuan as well. But now you can see Pasty has a DRS. Matt doesn't, which could allow Solid Ninja Snake to make a move on the inside of him into the turn 4 corner, but he does not make that move. So lap 7 here of 36 is flown by the first opening laps of this race, and the drivers are sort of settling in to a pattern. Like, they're all making a few moves on each other down the DRS strip. That's because it's so potent, the DRS down that main straight. The drivers who are faster are pulling out on the cars behind them. Like, Persegili has absolutely stormed away. That's exactly what he needs to do. Matt DJ gets a 3-second time penalty for track limits. Mexico is an absolute bitch of a track for track limits, as Solid Ninja Snake has gone past him, as J-Tray gets one as well. So it is an absolute monster for track limits. If you can keep clean while everyone else gets penalties, I know that it can be a very good track for you, Mexico, as Chajuan and Crema have come together in the final section of the circuit. We didn't see what happened between them, but maybe we'll see that after the race, because obviously they are fighting for a bit of a wooden spoon, to be fair, but it's still important that they don't come together. Chajuan comes into the pits then, and yeah, I remember one race. I did one race in F1 2020 where I had, what was it, 3 seconds of penalties around here. I got a time penalty on like lap 9, and then I went 27 laps without getting a single track limits warning. And because everyone else had like 9 or 12 seconds worth of time penalties, when there was a late safety car, I literally won that race because everyone else had time penalties and I didn't. And yes, it's a boring way to win a race, but it's also an efficient way to win a race. If you just drive a little bit less hard into the corners than everyone else does, and you lose like half a tenth here and there, you'll have 3 seconds. You get it back at the end of the race if everyone else is getting track limits penalties and you're not. But yeah, moving away from my personal anecdotes of league racing, we are still seeing this battle for second place, and Armate is actually keeping a gap now to Perseguili. As Perseguili's tyres possibly not falling off, but they might be starting to go across that crossover point as the Mercedes has retired Ihalo as a safety car on the circuit. This could allow soft runners to pit, or anyone to pit really. Oh, there's someone sideways. There was someone. That's where he crashed out. Then he just, I assume, dropped it on the exit of the stadium section, or on the exit of the corner coming into the stadium section. Kremer gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under safety car. Naughty, naughty. Speeding under safety car in real life, especially, is very dangerous because there could be marshals on circuit. There could be anything on circuit, really. You never know. That's why it tells you to slow down considerably. But yeah, Perseguili, this could be a perfect time for him to pit if those tyres are starting to go off. He could definitely go on at least mediums and make it a two-stop with soft, medium, medium. I know that's what I'd probably do in this situation. Maybe even try and go hard to the end. But I know Mexico's an absolute nightmare for tyre wear. Because it has a lot of... Because the reason why Mexico is a bad track for tyre wear is because most of its corners flow into each other. Because, like, for example, you get a track like, for example, Baku or like other circuits. Like Baku is a circuit that's good for tyre wear despite being quite long because you have breaks between the corners. Like here, like you go into turn 1, 2, 3, you don't get a break between those 3 corners. You go into turn 4, 5, 6, you don't get a break between those either. You go into the S's, there's definitely no break in the S's. And then the stadium section all flows into each other, so you don't get, the tyres don't get a break and a chance to cool down. They go through multiple heat cycles per lap, and that's what kills them. Because they're staying at those high temperatures because they can't get down in time for the next section of track to come up. I think that's how I see it anyway, as Perseguili did come into the pits. Some drivers have decided to stay out. So the Gabs has stayed out, and so has Frankie. And so is Tash, and so is Pasty, and so is Solid Ninja Snake. But the drivers behind are starting to come into the pits. Wants a new hard. So Perseguili might be trying to go to the end. 26 laps on a set of hards. I don't know how worn his softs were, but they were definitely starting to get... partly worn. But yeah, we're on lap 10 here of 36, so there's definitely still a long way to go. It's definitely not over if you pick the wrong strategy. There definitely could be another safety car. J-Trey and Matt are swapping places. Matt does move up into that final points position. So we do have the tyre check now, so everyone is on mediums or hards. It's a mix. It's medium, hard, medium for the top 5, but then it's a line of hards. Perseguili, Armate, Mulkian and Rising Moon have all pitted for hards. Admittedly, Rising Moon did pit on the last lap for hards. Matt DJ's on the mediums, J-Trey is on the hards, Pedro's on the mediums, Max Duca is on the hards, and then the final 4 drivers who are still in this race are on the medium tyres. Let's actually have a look. Who are the big gainers in the opening section of this race? So, the driver who's gained the most positions is Solid Ninja Snake. We saw him making moves. We saw him making, as I said, Solid Ninja moves. And Pasty is out! Has he crashed? What's happened to him? I'm so confused. What happened to him? Is this him? No, it's not him. Where has he gone? He's just out. Okay, that's really weird. He must have crashed out there. That's very strange. So, as I was saying, Solid Ninja Snake is now the biggest gainer. Tash is also up 6 positions due to the fact he hasn't pitted yet, and Max Duca's also up 6 positions due to the fact that 3 people have now retired. He's now moved up quite a few positions. J-Trey's up 5. Gabs is up 5 because he hasn't pitted yet. Matt DJ's also up 4. So multiple drivers who have gained a lot, but the biggest losers obviously are AVT Pasty and Luca, who is out of the race. Obviously had that weird desync issue where he just kept DNFing even though he just paused the game or quit to the main menu, and it just retired him from the game, which is a bit silly. But this game never fails to surprise me with how silly it can be sometimes. We are now on lap 11 of 36 here in Mexico City. Obviously, nowadays it's known as the Mexico City Grand Prix. The lights are off on the safety car, I think. So it's safety car in this lap. Is it? Or come it? Oh, yep, they are still flashing. Never mind. I thought I couldn't see them flashing, but I can. So, as I said, yeah. So we are going to continue one more lap on the safety car. So about a third of the way through the race now. The drivers will be looking to get a good restart. And they'll be looking to just get back in that flow again. They were in that flow before the safety car, but the safety car has given them a bit of a rude interruption. A bit of a rude awakening. As we come towards the start of lap 12, we are officially now a third of the way through the race. Shahuan still needs to catch up to the back of the pack, but I think he'll have no problems doing that on this lap. Mika SLR needs to do the same, but again, I don't think he'll have any problems doing that. Jobs up now, we're just trying to keep the heat in their tyres. AVT Pasty has left the session, unfortunately. And we look towards the end of the safety car period, and honestly I think we all need a bit of exciting racing. It's good racing so far, but it's not top tier excitement. I mean, I'm not expecting every single race to be top tier excitement, especially around Mexico. Mexico is not a circuit that produces good racing. It produces either boring overtaking with DRS or boring racing with lack of overtaking because the DRS isn't powerful. And this is why I'd say to guys in this lap, quickly let me get this ranted. They should have a push to pass system like we do in IndyCar. IndyCar you get, I think it's 250 seconds worth of push to pass over the entire race. You get like what is overtaking the F1 games. For the entire race you get 250 seconds. You can either choose to use it all right at the start, you can use it in parts during the race, or you can leave it all right until the end and wait for a late safety car. But I do think they should do that. Look how much he's backing the pack up. Gabs nearly made his teammate crash into the back of Frankie there. But when is he going to go? Is he going to go out the final corner? He will. He's off! He's spun out! The leader spins out! We saw him come around the final corner and just drop it and resets to the circuit. Tash, his teammate, is now challenging for the lead though. As he comes towards turn 1, he's trying to go around the outside of the McLaren of Frankie. Can he make the move stick? He goes round the outside. He's done it. Can he keep it? Can he keep it into the left-hander? He's going to turn to the inside for the right-hander for the McLaren of Frankie. He gets pushed wide. That's a very ballsy move there from the McLaren. He keeps the position, but will Tash get him back into turn 4? Look, he's going to the outside again. This time he's going to try and make it the inside into turn 5. He goes round the outside, wheel to wheel. He gets barged wide, but he's going to keep the car there. He's there going side by side, but he's going to filter back into the P2 as we're coming towards turn 6, the hairpin at Horquilla there. Very interesting action and very interesting battling. I said I wanted more action and I've got it. Persegili is also very close behind. Armate is just behind this battle. This is not over for these top 4. The Rising Moon is starting to fall back, but this is not over for this battle for the top 4. We're going to see more battling as we come on towards the start of lap 14. And now Tash is looking all over the rear end of that McLaren. He saw his teammate spin at this final corner. He hasn't done the same thing. Gabs is down to 12th place. Obviously very tragic for him. He had that opportunity to use that lead to his advantage, but Tash pulls to the inside and he's made a move. I think we could be 3 wide into turn 1. We could even be 4 wide. Look at this battle. They're going all wheel to wheel, side by side. We're going to see the Aston Martin go into the lead, but will he be able to keep it just like The McLaren did by going the exact same line around the outside, which turns to the inside for the next corner. Tash is down to second. Perseguili's up to first. And now Frankie is down to third. He was in the lead. He's now in third. And now he's down to fifth. What's happening? He's drowning. He's drowning in the pack. And now we see, pardon me, as Marte moves up into third. Tash into second. Marte is trying to make moves up the field. Perseguili is trying to pull away from this pack. He's a second clear of the pack already, and he only made that move into turn 3. He's doing insanely well. As we see Marte so close behind the back of that Ferrari of Tash, and will he be able to make a move into the stadium section because he wants to get past that car as quick as possible so he can catch up with Perseguili, and he's done so, and he's done that move nicely into the stadium section there. Marte now going to try and bridge that gap that Perseguili has. Now 2 seconds. He's absolutely pushing like hell on this lap to try and get ahead, and it's working for him. He hasn't set fastest lap, but he's probably got close as we come down this main straight. Rising Moon makes a move, and he's going to try and get past Tash. I think he's done it. Tash does not look like he has a lot of straight line speed. He's going to possibly try and go to the inside into turn 1. There was Matt DJ overtakes Solid Ninja Snake, and he's made, and as Tash backs out of that move, unfortunately, Multian goes past Frankie. The Williams passed the McLaren there. Good job from him to get that position there. Lap 15 of 36. We have 22 laps remaining. And now Tash is looking all over the rear end of Rising Moon. Rising Moon on the podium at the moment. But will he be able to keep that position? Tash obviously a bit out of position because he is, I think, one of the only people. He's the furthest along person who's not stopped yet. I can see why he's dropping down the field like a stone then, as he clearly hasn't got the target that everyone else does. And Matt DJ could be souping up a move on Frankie in towards the stadium section. Potato gets a 3-second time penalty. More time penalties warnings as now Frankie gets overtaken by Matt DJ in towards the stadium section. Nicely done from him. Contact as Frankie tried to switch back, but it did not work for him. He needs to try and push a little bit harder, methinks. And maybe try and get the switch back and try and make your line more obvious and more V-shaped to try and get out of that kind of slipstream. But now he's got J-Tray all over his rear end. That could be disastrous. Multian's also trying to go for a move on Tash. Tash does get overtaken there. But we're going to go back to this battle for 7th and 8th. Because I think J-Tray could send a move up the inside here into turn 1. He does send the move on the inside into turn 1. Can he get the move stick? Oh, contact. Contact between the two drivers. And I think there's a bit of decent going on here because the McLaren's been completely forced wide there. He's down to 9th place. What is going on? Pedro passed him. And now into turn 4 we go. The cars all filter through. And we are just, well, looking at this field of cars, they are all line as third and they are all producing cracking racing. Obviously, in these situations where you have multiple cars in a train, you just want to stay with the car in front. You don't want to push to overtake because then you're going to be the car in front and then you're going to be pulling everyone along and then you're going to be doing everything. So Mika SLR is trying to go for a move on Max Duca for 11th place and he gets it done. Max Duca goes wide and now let's have a look towards the front more towards the front here. Pedro is definitely looking for a move on J-Tray and Matt DJ is definitely looking for a move on Tash as Gabs has left the session, unfortunately. I don't know what's happened to him. Matt DJ makes the move on Tash and not Frankie is trying to go for the move on Pedro into turn 1, but he backs out of it. But he's forced Pedro to go wide, which is going to compromise him completely on the exit here. If Frankie can get the line right, he can get the move right in towards turn 4. He's got the DRS. Does he have the straight line speed advantage to send a move into turn 4? He's going to go to the inside, to the outside. Wibble, wobble, wiggle, woggle. As we go in towards the turn 4-5 section. Does not make a move, unfortunately for him. And yeah, we are just coming towards... We're on lap 7. We're just about halfway through the race now. So, it doesn't feel like it, but we are halfway through the race. It feels like time has been flying for these drivers. I'll tell you what else has been flying. Perseguili has a 2-second gap to the car behind, 2.5-second gap. to Almaty. It's coming down a little bit, but it's fluctuating through this last sector. It will do, though, because it is a section where drivers take different lines and the concertina effect is quite prevalent. But it seems like Persegili has the confidence to push. We saw that on the restart. He managed to get out of DRS within about a sector. Fair enough, it was Tash who was getting that gap too. And we've seen now that Tash is definitely not on the pace of the rest of the field around him. But it's still a good move. And also the fact that he's on hards. His Almaty's also on the hards. Never mind, I can't use that excuse of saying he's on the worst tyres as well. But yeah, lap 18. Gabs is in the pits. I think that's just his AI though, because AIs tend not to make good strategy calls online. J-Train, Pedro though, battling. Who's going to make the better exit out of turn 5? Wibble wobble on the exit there for J-Train. Does he push the Red Bull wide? He does, and he gets the move to stick. P7 for the not the Alpha Tower, not the Alfa Romeo, the Aston Martin of J-Train there. Not me mixing up my A teams. I don't mean the one in the black and red van. I mean the ones that start with A. I mean Aston Martin, Alfa Romeo, Alpha Tauri, and is there another one on the grid? Alpine, there we go. I don't know why they have so many teams beginning with A. Just choose a different letter, like J or X or Y or Z or something. I don't know. Or it's not even a team like beginning with M or something. And there's not even a team beginning with R. So, anyway, on to lap 19. Most of the jobs are going to go to the end. But Pedro is now going to try and make a move on J-Tray. And he's made the move already before we can get to turn 1. And J-Tray's trying to fend off Frankie. And he has fended off Frankie. As Frankie's teammate Potato is going for a move into turn 1. As Frankie now is tucked up behind the rear end of J-Tray, who's tucked up behind the rear end of Pedro. As we come towards the turn 4-5 section. The chicane is very good as we see Potato and Solid Ninja Shake battling. Who are we going to see come out on top here? Side by side, coming through turn 5. We've got Williams in the background as well. Will he be able to send it around the outside? The Alpha Tauri? No. So Potato moves up into P12. They are battling a bit over the wooden spoon, but it's still great battling. I won't tell them that, even though they're probably going to look back at my stream and see I've been saying that they're battling over the wooden spoon. As we see Chahwan, he's the number 88 in the Williams. Last time we saw that was Robert Kubica in 2019. And the last time we saw the number 88 in F1 before Robert Kubica, was Rio Haryanto. I think the number 88 was the first number to be recycled. I think it was the first number to be used by 2 drivers in F1. And the new number point, in the new personalised driver number system. I think it was the first numbers be recycled, like used by the same driver twice. But anyway, we move towards Solid Ninja Shake, trying to go again at Potato, but actually J-Train moves past Pedro, and Potato tries to get back, actually loses the position to Chahwan as well. Chahwan up the inside of Solid Ninja Shake. Will he make a move? Oh no, he doesn't. He gets squeezed out there, so he doesn't make the move in the end. And now coming up towards the turn 4 section, I don't think we're going to see any more moves because Potato is the one that doesn't have a DRS, even though he's the one furthest behind, which is why I don't like the system of double DRS in this game at this circuit. Or it's not just in this game, it's in real life as well. I think they should sort it out, to be fair. It is a quirk, but it doesn't help overtaking at all. In fact, it makes it worse. I do just think the DRS should be binned off, though, because push to pass is better in so many ways. Push to pass doesn't need zones. Push to pass. Oh! As Frankie goes wide, Frankie's gone off. He's lost 9th place to Mika SLR there, and he's lost a lot of ground to the cars in front of him. He could get compromised by this Alfa Romeo. He could drop out the points here if he's not careful. But one little mistake has cost him here. He's using the overtake out of the final corner, Max Duca. So is Frankie, though. He is adamant not to lose this position. I think he's adamant to actually make up the position back on Mika SLR as well. This could be tasty, this could be spicy, this could be spicy. As we're coming towards turn 1, doesn't make the move, unfortunately, now. But yeah. Oh, actually, Mulcian is going for a move, I think, on Rising Moon for P3. The podium position here has been changed. Mulcian up into P3, makes the move stick. Nicely done from the Williams driver. Good job from him to get up into that position. 16 laps to go in this race, and the action still hasn't stopped. As I go back to the point about push to pass, as J-Tray gets a 3-second time. I think that's his second one of the race. It is. So, yeah, the problem is with DRS. It works. Increasing as Chahuan gets another one as well. And I think Potato has as well. It works if you're trying to increase overtaking, but push to pass doesn't need zones. Oh! Someone's off in the background. Well, how come every time I try and talk about push to pass, someone goes off? Potato is crashed and caused the virtual safety car. How come every single time I want to talk about push to pass, someone blows up and I have to talk about something else? I'll keep doing it because it'll cause more action. J-Tray and Matt have changed positions. Cars, Matt and J-Tray are into the pits. Into the pits they must go, and there was nearly an unsafe release there as the Alfa Romeo pulled out into the path of the Haas. Number 53 there for the Haas. Is he trying to be like Herbie, or is he trying to be like Alexander Rossi in F1? Potato gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. As Potato is retired from the session, he's clearly kicking himself with rage. Very understandable. Lap 22 of 36 now. 15 laps remaining. And safe virtual safety car is now out. Persegili has stayed out. So has Almate. So is Mulkian. So is J-Tray. So is Mika. SLR. So is Max Duca. So is Rising Moon. So is Matt DJ. So is Tash. So, well, actually, what I was just on a ramble there. I don't know what I was doing there. I've just woken up out of a trance. Persegili is now trying to snake his way through this final sector as Chahuan gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under VSC on the restart. Rookie mistake there. And Armate is actually, I thought he was gaining a bit on Persegili there. He's not in the end. Persegili pulling out. I think he has a bit more straight line speed than the Mercedes driver. As Frankie moves past Pedro into the stadium. You very rarely see moves actually in the stadium section, but he's done it. And now we come round the baseball stadium in towards the main straight. One of the longest straights in modern Formula 1. Obviously now it's overtaken by the strip in Vegas. And it's been overtaken by the Baku straight. But for 1 year, in 2015, I think it was the longest straight in F1. I mean, I'll tell you one thing, because I remember when the big F1 YouTubers used to do top speed tests with all the cars, because back when there wasn't such a thing as like realistic and equal cars. So, like, you couldn't like choose between them in time trial. You could in lobbies, but you definitely couldn't in time trial. But I remember they do top speed tests, and they always used to do Monza, and then on F1 2015 they switched to Mexico because it was a longer straight and they could test the top speed a bit better. And then they did it at what track did they do it at next? They did it at Baku, I think was what they next went to, and now they've done it. But now they started doing it at Vegas because it's just a really long straight. And the braking zone isn't as late as it is in the other ones. Because, like, for example, Monza's long straight is into the first chicane, very heavy braking zone. Baku is into the very heavy braking zone at turn 1. And Mexico is, don't get me wrong, it is a heavy braking zone, but it's not as heavy as the other two. As Tash sets fastest lap on those new tyres. J-Tray gets overtaken by Mika SLR. This could get interesting as Frankie sets fastest lap, beating Tash's record. As Tash goes to the inside, on behalf of Matt DJ, he makes the move. He was so quick going into turn 1. He was hitting 215 miles an hour. Very quick from him there, and he's now going to get the second helping of DRS down this straight just to help him pull away a little bit more. Cheeky. As Chahuan passes Crema, because Crema is into the pits. J-Tray he has a 6-second time penalty, but Mika SLR is, I don't know where I was going with that sentence. I'm starting to get a bit tired now. I feel like Mitch McConnell, as Mika SLR, as I'm saying, that gets a 3-second time penalty for track limits. Yeah. Should I go back to my push to pass comment? So someone else can spin. So when I was talking about push to pass, It's a button you press, and you get an extra power boost. It's like Kurz was back in the day, or it's like overtaking this F1 game. And you get a certain amount of seconds per race, not per lap like you did in F1, but per race. And it worked. As now, J-Tray makes an overtake on Mika SLR, nicely done from him. And you get 250 seconds per race. And you can choose when to use it. Sometimes they use it all right at the start, sometimes they use it all right at the end because it's a late safety car. And it's very clever because once you've used it, obviously, you can't get it back. So if you have 0 seconds left and the person behind you has 50 seconds left, and you're on the final lap of the race after what they call a caution period, which is where the safety car comes out, then you're screwed. But I do think that system is better because then the driver chooses how powerful the boost is. So they can choose to have a more powerful boost, but they can be more compromised later on in the race if they use it and don't overtake someone. Whereas the DRS is just something you passively get. And it doesn't actually help overtaking. There's the 2 Alfa Romeos switch places. That might have been a bit of team orders going on there. I'm not sure how legal that is. I know I don't have team orders being illegal in my server because you can't regulate it. Because that's the trouble. Realistically, in a pure like meritocracy environment of what should be Formula 1, realistically team orders shouldn't exist, but they've always existed. People act like team orders started with, as Frankie sets fastest lap, people act like team orders started with Schumacher and Barrichello in the early 2000s, or Hakkinen and Coulthard in McLaren as Pedro makes a move on Matt DJ for the last points position. Everyone acts like they only started coming in the early 2000s, but team orders have been around since the 1950s as Rising Moons, I think, or someone's made an overtake around this sort of area. I think Mika and J-Tray might have battled. But, like, for example, the shared drives in the 1950s, literally, if a faster driver had retired from a race, they would literally tell a slower driver to get out of their car at a pit stop and give it to the faster driver. That's team orders. And yeah, Luigi Fagioli had to do that in a race against Fangio, and it was the only race that Fagioli won because he shared the drive with Fangio, who went on to win. J-Tray and Rising Moons make contact into the stadium section. So does Tash. Tash passes Max Duca. Max Duca pushing off Frankie, but Frankie makes his way through in the stadium section. Nicely done from the McLaren driver. But now he's getting re-attacked by the Alfa Romeo driver. They're switching positions left, right, centre. Oh! The Aston Martin losing the back end there. That's J-Tray trying to make a move on Rising Moons, but he cannot make it as Frankie has lost position. He's done 10th place. But now Rising Moons has got past Mika. J-Tray trying to get past Mika. They're all slipstreaming each other. They're all trying to battle each other into turn 1. J-Tray makes the move. Frankie's back into 10th. Max Duca is down to 11th, but Frankie's back up to 9th. Frankie's switching positions. He's getting 2 positions in 1 corner. And he's made the move. He's done it. He's made it stick. What a move from him. They keep battling on the way down to turn 4. Lap 27. We have 10 laps remaining. And he's going to try and battle, but there's no move happening there into turn 4, unfortunately, for the Red Bull driver. These are battling over the minor points placing. It's still so crucial because they all have the same amount of penalties. And they could easily get more. But yeah, going back to my team orders point, like, Fagioli had to give up his car for Fangio because Fangio was obviously the faster driver. And although he got the win, he refused to race for Alfa Romeo ever again in Formula 1. He said, no, I'm not racing for you. You literally gave away my car. And he didn't think he should have given it away because he was driving well. I mean, he wasn't. Like, he's one of only 2 drivers in F1 history to have won a race without leading a single lap in that race because it was Fangio who led all the laps. And he's also the only driver in F1 history to have won a Grand Prix without leading a single lap in their entire career, as Frankie makes a move past Matt DJ, and Pedro is probably going to try and make a move as well as Tash passes Mika. They're all just battling constantly as Pedro does make the move on Matt, but will Matt try and send it on the outside? No, he does not. Tash will also possibly try and make a move on J-Tray here because J-Tray definitely does not have the DRS going down in towards the sharp left-hander, or the sharp chicane really, as Tash trying to go around the outside. Doesn't make it though. But he will try and get the switch back. Lap 28 again, so we do still have it's a bit of a sprint to the end. Tash is on those better tyres, those softer tyres. But He can't make the most of him. Stuck behind the back of that Aston Martin. Clement gets past Gabs' AI. As we come up towards the third DRS straight on this circuit. Will Tash finally make that move? I think he will. Frankie's left again. I think he must be having connection issues. Tash does make the move, but he needs to try and pull out a nice, decent gap before he gets into the DRS straight. He has. Well done to him. He's really put his foot down in that last sector. He's about to say, I think J-Tray might still have DRS. Actually, I don't think he does. I think he's pulled out literally a second in about 4 corners. Fair play to Tash there. Putting his foot down and actually getting on with it there. As Pedro's trying to pass Mika. And he does. And I think we might see Frankie's AI get involved here. And now, yep, Mika gets past. He's now battling with Frankie's AI, but obviously is a ghost, so we can just go straight through it. Mika gets another time penalty. That's another 3 seconds for him. So he's going to be looking in his mirrors as well as in front of him. Quickly, this battle is turning into just a massive slipstream fest. It's like an oval race. Or like a race in Monza in the 1970s. And now we're just sat here waiting for the main straight to come around again and wait for more DRS slipstreaming. But actually, Pedro might wait a bit before that. He's not going to wait for that. He's going to go around the outside of J-Tray. He's going to try and do exactly what Tash did, but I don't think he's going to be able to because I think Tash has the much better tyres. I think he might be able to pull out a bit. He has. He's pulled out like 2 or 3 temps. But that's not enough to keep ahead into the DRS zone, especially when you don't have as much ERS as the car behind you. Because they will just push behind you and they do not care about how much DRS or ERS you have. Look at the straight line speed advantage. It's like 15, 20 miles an hour. J-Tray makes the move to the outside on Pedro, but he's going to fight this one. To the outside, it will be for the second part of the chicane. Back to the inside for the third part. He does push the Alpha Aston by wide. Oh, he's all over the shop. He's all over the shop and he's managed to make the move. But now we go towards turn 4. The Alpine of Mika SLR trying to make the move. He's going to turn to the inside for the next corner, and I think he might make this move. Oh, Pedro tried to get the switch back, but could not, and I think that's going to compromise. And Matt DJ is up his inside into Hall Killer, and now he makes the move. Oh, contact! And Matt DJ gets spun around. Pedro loses positions. Oh dear, that is a catastrophic outcome for the Haas driver and for the Red Bull driver as well, because he's also lost out in that battle as well. Frankie's AI is still keeping them these, which is very funny to me. They're doing all this hard work, busted their balls to try and do well, and Frankie's just going, thank you very much, I'm not doing any work, lads, and I'm just still keeping with yous. As Frankie says, GG's. Thank you, mate. I don't know why he's saying GG. I'm not racing, mate. Oh, his AI's coming into the pits. A solid Ninja Snake, Max Zuka, and everyone behind him will move up in position, but Pedro's also into the pits. Obviously for a front wing change. Soft tyres will be going on to that Red Bull. As Matt DJ comes in as well. It's the battle of the pit crews. Who's going to come out first? I think it is going to be Pedro here. Yep. It was always going to be Pedro. And, yeah. We are just, as I said, waiting for now something to happen. As Gabs passes Matt DJ. That is his AI, so I'm not going to focus on that. It's boring. Solid Ninja Snake is the only person within 7 or within the RS zone of anyone in this race. So we'll keep an eye on this battle. He is now only 3 temps behind. He is looking very fast behind the back of J-Tray. Lap 32 will be coming on to lap 33, I think, in a second. Unless Persegili is already on lap 33. He's not. So we are coming on to lap 32 now for these guys, not lap 33. 5 to go. And this is the only battle that's going on circuit. I mean, we did have that amazing battle for a lot of laps, so I can't complain, really. But I'm going to complain anyway, because I'm a typical F1 fan who complains about anything and everything. as he does go to the inside there, but we don't see it because of the shoddy camera work. But now, round turn 2 and 3, he will try and get a move into turn 4 possibly with the extra DRS. Will he be able to get it done this time? Will we be able to see the move this time? No, because he's not going to make the move. But yeah, going back to my point about F1 fans and not knowing what they want. Because they say, for example, oh, we want more overtaking. But then if you add more DRS zones, or if you make it so that DRS is very powerful, they go, oh, it's too much overtaking, it's artificial, it's not this, it's not that. And then you go, I saw people complaining about the fact they weren't racing in Spa in those wet conditions. But yet when the FIA allowed the Freca race to race and kill Delano, they were like, that's appalling, they should never race in those conditions. This is a great battle, actually, going on while I'm waffling on about, oh, J-Tro getting wobbly, oh, even more wobbly as he tries to steep up the inside of Solid Ninja Snake. Who gets the DRS, though? I think it is Solid, is neither of them. Oh, no, it is J-Tro who gets the DRS. Down this back straight. I don't think he's going to send a move into turn 1, though. He might do, actually, now I say that. He has such a speed advantage. He doesn't know. Oh, he does! To the inside he goes. Show me this battle, please, cameraman. Oh, so annoying when we don't pan to the right camera in time. And now coming down towards turn 4. We go around the outside with the Aston Martin driver and the AlphaTauri driver of Solid Ninja Snake. Had a wobble there going into the corner. I'm not sure if they made contact on both of their screens because it looked like a very weird bit of contact. You very rarely see contact going down straights, but we did then. Rising Moon's also close behind Mushia, but yeah, going back to my point about F1 fans not knowing what they want. They said it was appalling for Delano to be killed by racing in those wet weather conditions and people not being able to see, but then they were complaining about us not racing in Spa because F1 drivers are supposed to be the best in the world and they're supposed to be able to deal with any conditions. It's like, pick a side. You either want safety and you want us to not race as much in the rain, or you don't want, or you do want us to race in the rain. You don't get to pick and choose whenever it suits you because you want to complain about something that doesn't need complaining about. But anyway, Rising Moon moves past Muchian into the podium positions. And we are on lap 34 now, so positions made now, or will be crucial. Pedro moves up into 11th. I don't think he's going to be able to move into the points. I'll always tell you he'll be able to move up into 7th place though. Solid Ninja Snake makes a move into 7th. Past J-Tro. And Muchian is trying to keep with Rising Moon. Whether he's going to be able to or not is another matter though. He is now 8/10ths behind. Will he be able to keep that position? Will he be able to keep that DRS gap? It'll be more important if he can keep it into here, because if he can, he'll just be able to be pulled along. Oh, he does have DRS, but he's now out of the DRS zone. Or not out of the DRS window. So he'll need to push like hell in this final sector if he wants to keep within that DRS range down to the main straight, which would be the most important one. If he can keep it in for this straight, he'll be able to keep it pretty much for the rest of the lap, I assume. But he's not managed to do that. That's unfortunate for him. So I think Rising Moons has this 3rd place in the bag. In the figurative bag, obviously. As Multian uses overtake cleverly on this straight there, just to try and get back in that DRS, but it hasn't worked for him, unfortunately. J-Tro's fallen out of the DRS of Solid Ninja Snake. Max Ducker's now catching up to him. So we could see a battle form between these two. And we're now on the 2nd to last lap. Persegili now coming up towards the Azaz section. He's had a pretty perfect race, to be honest. Can't fault him. He's been pretty faultless out front. Managed to rise to the occasion, rise to the obstacles that came his and the rest of the lobby's way. And I just think that's a hallmark of a great driver. That is really the hallmark of a great, fantastic driver, really. Yeah. While his championship rivals like Frankie have struggled to score points, or their connections haven't allowed them to score points, he has managed to really... I think he might be trying to go for fastest lap on this final lap. He is burning a lot of ERS. I won't blame him for trying to go fastest lap. I mean, it would top off a perfect race for him. I don't think it would be a grand slam, but it'd definitely be close. As he comes towards the end of the first sector, can he set a purple one? If he sets a purple one here, it's pretty legendary. No, it's not purple. It's green, but it's not purple. And yeah, as I said earlier, he's done a cracking job. Just managed to keep everyone at arm's reach. That's basically what his entire strategy has been through this race. Pull out a lot in the first couple of laps, and then just keep everyone at arm's reach. Don't push more than you absolutely need to. Winning a race at the slowest possible speed. The Jackie Stewart mentality. But it does work. He won 27 F1 races with that mentality, and Niki Lauda won 25 with that mentality. It does work. Winning at the slowest speed possible. They did it because of safety concerns. I think Perseguili's just done it because he doesn't want to overpush and make a mistake and make anything wrong. But yeah, he's had an absolutely cracking drive here today. 3 seconds clear at the flag. But he will come round the final corner to take the win here in AOR. Armate will come home in second. Rising Moons, after that late race pass on Muchian, comes up home into the 3rd place position as he comes round the final corner. Muchian comes home in 4th. Tash comes home in 5th. After leading on the safety car restart, fell back down, managed to get back up again as Pedro was spun in the second sector. Coming into the final sector as Mika SLR comes over the line. Solid Ninja Shake does as well. He moves up into 6th place because of penalties. J-Tray will move down because of penalties. Max Ducker moves up into 7th in the end because he doesn't have penalties. Not Frankie's AI is 10th. Pedro is trying to keep these guys behind him because he knows that if he can, might get a point if Frankie gets disqualified for being in AI for so long. Pedro comes across the line. Charon comes across the line, and so does the last place finisher, who I cannot name because I've forgotten. I didn't see. 13th place for Chahuan. I think he was the last place driver in the end. But now we see Max Ducker apparently gets driver of the day. I mean, he did have a very bad qualifying. I think most of those positions were gained because of everyone else retiring around him or having problems around him. But I'll tell you who didn't benefit from drivers benefiting around him or having problems around him. It's Perseguili. The Flying Finn, they gave that name to Mika Häkkinen. They gave that name to Kimi Räikkönen. They even gave that name to people like Jerky Jarvaletto and Mika Salo or Heikki Kovalainen at some points. But I'm going to give it to Perseguili here. He was flying and he's finished. So, works perfectly. What you tend to find is there is a saying that goes around the motorsport community. If you think you're fast, there's always a Finn faster than you because they're just unbelievable. So yeah, Perseguili comes out on top then. Armate in second. Rising Moon up into 3rd. Mulchian comes home in 4th after that late race losing of the podium. Tash home in 5th place. Then Solid Ninja Shake. Max Duca. Mika Sia or Mika SLR. J-Tray. Frankie. Pedro. Matt DJ. Chahuan. Gabs was an AI but he still finished. And Clemart finished a lap down. Potato was the first of the retirees, then Pasti retired as well, so did Igaho and Luca, who retired early on after a thing. I always try and get people's race directors so that they can then get any penalties removed if they need them to. So I've done that for them, and then I'll scroll down to the bottom because it's a weird way the modern one works. I don't like the way that the modern way works because you can't just scroll down for everyone. It's weird. I'm trying to get it for everyone, but I think I've missed some of them because I didn't get enough time. But oh well, thank you everyone for listening into the stream. I've been AOR Nedzo, I've also been Nedzo, I've also been Nedzo's F1 Gridbox. If you want to go and follow my YouTube, you can ask for a link. I talk about lots of old style Formula 1 content, as in like historical stuff. I haven't posted a video in a while, but I will be posting one soon because I have an idea and I think it's going to do well. But I will see you again soon, and I will see you next time. Hopefully I'll be commentating next week, and maybe it will be on the YouTube channel if I can get that working. But for now, it's on this Twitch. But for now, I will see you all later. I've been Nedzo, or Nedzo's F1 Gridbox, or whatever you want to call me. Goodbye!